Okay, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. My name is Richard from the Seneca team, and today we're going to have a good look into Seneca tutoring service and how that can support your child with their learning. It's going to be a session looking at the sort of background behind Seneca and how it's come to be, but also looking at it in practice and seeing how it works as well for your children, sorry. So to start off with, just to explain a little bit about what Seneca is to make sure everyone's on the same page for that, you have Seneca, which provides a distance learning and a homework platform for students to log on and study their different courses that they'll be learning in school. But we also offer a tutoring service where tutors can tutors are available to support your children with instant schoolwork support. Now, some of the best things about Seneca that are worth mentioning right from the get-go is that Seneca is based on proven learning strategies. So what is shown to be effective in learning automatically happens in Seneca. You can also track the progress of your children through your through your parent account, and the learning is adaptive. So that means it changes to make sure that each child is accessing the work that's appropriate for their learning. So we might move students on who are doing really well or give more support and guidance on particular areas that your children will struggle with. And then with our tutoring service, you get access to unlimited tutoring support, and that support is instant. And it's a little bit different to some of the other tutoring services we have on the market, and also a much cheaper price point of than other things on the market. Now, the way it works is that instead of having a one-to-one call like this or a small group call like this with a tutor where you can have your questions answered for maybe an hour, a week or something like that, there is ongoing support through our tutoring service where your child can ask a question or access any of the resources that our tutors provide throughout the day, whenever they want, whenever they need it. And our tutors will get back to your children within 10 minutes. So it's much more of an ongoing process, which allows your child to get questions answered when they need the questions answered, rather than having to save them up and sort of think about them whenever their next tutoring session is. And the price for that is very similar to 1 hour of tutoring. You can get a whole month's worth of Seneca tutoring. So for a whole month's worth of instant ongoing support, it's the same price as 1 hour of sort of a one-to-one tutoring. So a really cost-effective way, but also a really effective way to improve your child's learning. And this is particularly important at the moment, obviously, with the lockdowns that are going on, and making sure your child has access to support and are freeing you up to do whatever you need to do in your day while they're at home, so then you know that they've got some support from our tutors when they need it. Now, the effectiveness of Seneca has been researched and looked into, and we did a research with just over 1,100 pupils. And what we found was that when we compared Seneca with other independent learning tools, so we compared it to a revision guide as an example, we saw that Seneca was far more effective with this group. So you'll see that very similar pre-test results, but in the post-test results, students did over twice as well when they were using Seneca. So we see that as very much a validation that what we're doing is making a positive impact on pupils' learning. And that research was peer-reviewed and published, so you can read about it in these places. Just a quick Google search will find them for you. So we're going to go and have a look into actually the platform and how it works, and I'll share with you how the tutoring service works as well. So this is our tutoring service. The first thing to note is that you can see all of the subjects we offer down the side here. There's a whole range of different subjects that your child can get tutoring support on. And this covers age 7 in year 3, right up to age 18 and everything in between. And your child can get support through this tutoring service. All they need to do basically is go on the subject they have a question about. They can ask a question. So the best thing to do is probably to show you how it works. So I'm going to pretend to be a student here. I'm going to say, ask a biology question, which could be, what is nutrification? One of those things you learn at school and you probably recognize the word, but I can never remember what it actually is. So let's see if our tutors get back to us and give us an answer. So you can see Yasmin has picked it up for me and she's typing at the bottom there. And while she's getting back to us with an answer, I will just show you a few other things on here. So there's also video lessons that your child can have access to. And we produce between 3 and 10 of these a day. So your child can have access to these sort of ongoing, and they can search by anything they're looking for. And then they also have a chance to vote for what we produce next in these videos. And then there's also groups for different interests as well. So if your child has a particular interest in coding, design, theatre, entrepreneurship, etc., there's different areas where they can meet with or talk to other students in a safe environment that is manned by our tutors to make sure that this is all safe for your children. Now, in terms of the hours that this is available and our tutors are available, is we've adapted our hours to make sure that we're supporting during lockdown. So this is support we can offer between 10 a.m. in the morning and 8 p.m. at night. And there is an hour lunch break between 1 and 2. But apart from that, if your child asks a question, they can get within 10 minutes an answer to their schoolwork question. And this can be anything they're studying. It can be Seneca related, it can be something completely separate as well. And on the weekends, it's also available. So on the weekends, our tutors are available between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. So again, within 10 minutes in those periods, within 10 minutes, our pupils will get back, our tutors, sorry, will get back to your children with the answers they've got. The other thing to mention as well, alongside our tutoring service, it looks like Yasmin is still writing, but the other thing to mention alongside our tutoring service is access to the timetables that we offer. So these are to help if your child is unsure of what to do next, or is trying to plan a personalized revision plan. What we do is our tutors are able to provide these custom timetables for your child based on exactly what it is that they want to study. So you'll see here we've got the different subjects, the different topics, and then these just link to different activities on Seneca, which then can be sort of ticked off as they go. So they just tick them off like this and work through that. Now, these are available for all of our tutoring, all our users who have access to the tutoring service. And it's a very simple process. All you have to do is basically pop in an email address, your name and your Discord username, which is just the username you use on the tutoring service here. And then you select how many hours a week you want the timetable, or how many weeks you want the timetable to last for. And then you just go through and basically select the different topics that you want to add as part of your timetable. And we'll go through and create a really curated custom timetable for your child to make sure they have access to everything they need and they have access to all the resources. And again, hopefully freeing up your time in terms of helping them to understand what they should be learning and how they should be learning as well. So let's see if, here you go. So Yasmin has replied now. So this is great. So remember, this is available between those times I mentioned earlier. And within 10 minutes, our tutors will get back to us, back to your children with a question. So it looks like here, give me an explanation of what eutrophication is, which is great. It's broken down really nicely into simple steps so I can understand this. And it looks like Yasmin's also given me a follow-up activity so I can learn more about eutrophication if I want to. So that's all there. So that's the way our tutoring service works. It's a very simple process. And as I say, the real beauty of this is that it's ongoing support rather than sort of a one-off support that your child can get once a week or twice a week, whatever it is you say. Now, in terms of costs for this, if you look to get our tutoring package, it works out, if you pay on an annual basis, it's $29.99 per month. And if you pay on a seasonal basis, which is a 4-monthly subscription, then the cost is $39.99 a month. So it's comparing it to thinking about how much a single one-on-one tutoring session would cost. That would cost between £30 and £40, sometimes more. You get for the same price, you get a whole month's worth of support from our tutors. And we're able to do that by basically through this service that we've got here, our tutors are able to support more than one child at once, which then makes it much more cost effective. The other thing to say about our tutors is that they're all clearly DBS checked and background checked, and given really rigorous training on making sure that they give the highest quality answers to make sure that they're supporting your children effectively. And then on top of that, they, in terms of their backgrounds, that most of them are students or recent graduates who study at either Oxbridge or other Russell Group universities. So they're very clever people who have gone through a rigorous assessment process to make sure we have the best of the best tutors available to support your children. So that is basically all I wanted to share with you and show you how it all works on the Seneca tutoring subscription. The way, if you have any questions on anything I've talked about, now is the time to start to put them in the chat on Zoom. So if you haven't seen where to put that, I put that message here. Feel free to pop any questions that you have about tutoring, how it works, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. And while you're doing that, I will just also talk quickly and show you this process with the Seneca tutoring as well. So if I put an email address in here just as an example, my username, my name and my username, and how many hours I want to do it a week. You can see here that the students can just go through and select the different courses they study at school, the different topics they want to focus on, how many hours they want to study a week, and they just go through and do that for each subject, and that will produce one of these timetables for them. A question from Duke, well, I hope I said your name correctly, says, how do you log into your parent account? Very good question. So the way our parent accounts work is they are available to, all you need to do is go to our website, which is, if I'll just go back to the actual, here we go. So go to our website. If you want to create an account or log into your account, all you need to do is say parents use for free, and then monitor your child's learning. You can then create your account here, just for your first name, last name, password, etc. But if you want to log into an existing account, you can just log in, and then you can log in with your email address and password. And then what that will do, I'll just go into here. Actually, if I show you a different account, you'll be able to have some data on there. I'll just log into a slightly different account. I'll show you what it looks like when you've got a connected child. So this basically allows you to see exactly what your child is up to on Seneca. So you can understand what they're doing, how well they're doing, how long they're spending studying, and all the other bits of information you might need to know when supporting your child learning from home. So you can change the different children you have here. I've got 2 children here, which obviously just dummy, fake accounts, but you could have your children lined up here. And you can see the courses they've studied down the left, their total learning time, the average score, number of sessions completed, and the number of correct answers as well. And this is for different time periods. You can just select the different time periods you want. So like today, last 24 hours, last 7 days, last 30 days, etc. So you can see all this data to then think about how you want to support your child if you want to. But also, if your child is struggling with something, don't forget, with our tutoring service, the tutors can just answer questions, or they can put them in the direction of different resources that we have on Seneca to support your child's learning in a particular area if they have a question around that. Okay, are there any other questions from anyone? It doesn't look like it, which is great. So the last thing to say then is thank you very much for joining. After this session, I'll send you an email to basically let you know how to access support and how to get set up and things like that. But also, if you want to create a subscription for premium, for tutoring, sorry, you can go ahead and do that through the links on the email I send you. But also let us know if you have any questions through there as well, just by hitting reply. So in terms of training, a question from Scott here. Scott asked about training on how to navigate the platform. The best thing to do, Scott, is at a time to suit you, is to access our help pages, because there's training and videos and support on there. to really get you started. So if you see this Get Help button here, if you click on that, in terms of like navigating and inviting your children and things like that, you just go in here, invite your child. How can I connect my parent account to my child's account? You'll see there's a video tutorial of me talking through how to do this and how to support your child by connecting to their account. So that's all there and available ready for you. But if you're struggling, then you can still get access to support through our chat. So here we have access to Olivia, who will be able to support you. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask her through the chat there as well. So that's the best way to get support, Scott, if you need it. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. And yeah, I hope you like what you see. And if you obviously got any questions, as I say, do feel free to get in touch and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for joining, and I hope you have a good evening.